लक्ष्मी अन्नपूर्णा नमो नमः देवी दुर्गे नमो नमः देवी दुर्गे नमो नमः उमा महेश्वरी नमो नमः देवी दुर्गे नमो नमः देवी दुर्गे नमो नमः देवी दुर्गे नमो नमः देवी दुर्गे नमो We'll close with a few minutes of chanting Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Jageshwaraya. Om Jageshwaraya. Om Jageshwaraya. Om Jageshwaraya. Om Jageshwaraya. Vishweshwaraya. Om Vishweshwaraya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. If you can all move up a little bit and a little bit that way. There's people outside waiting to get in. I know it's crowded, but there's lots of new beautiful space right here where our musicians were sitting. So if you can move maybe into it. Perfect, yeah. It's okay, no problem, no problem. Close is good. Wonderful. I always say there's no Hindi translation for there's no more room. In India, there's always the ability to make more room. So, good. Okay. Welcome to Satsang. We'll begin with just a few moments of quiet meditation together. So those of you by the door, if you can just move a little bit closer so that as first rule of meditation is the mouth must be closed. Second, the eyes get closed. Good. And the awareness inward. Draw the awareness to the breath. Allow the focus to merge completely into the breath. Now bring the awareness to the breath, low in your abdomen, not in your chest and rib cage, but low in the abdomen to a place just a few inches below your navel, a place called the Swadisthana Chakra. Bring the awareness of the breath there. Draw your senses, draw the powers of perception, draw your focus to your breath as it flows in and flows out at that energy center just below our belly buttons. If thoughts come, or sounds or distractions come, don't worry about them. But don't allow them to hijack your attention. Stay in charge of your attention and just keep pulling it inward. Immersed fully in the breath. You're here in a land where for thousands of years the saints, the sages, the rishis practiced their meditations. It's a land where the air is charged. The soil is charged. Allow yourself to bathe in that sacred energy and breathe it in, filling yourself with that sacred life force. Breathe in that sacred energy. Breathe it into every corner of your being. On the inhalations, as you inhale, you can chant silently to yourself, so. And on the exhalations, chant silently to yourself, hum. So it means I am that. I am the creator. I am the creation. I am one with all of existence. I am that. So, keep chanting silently to yourself. On the inhalations, so, and on the exhalations, hum. Slowly bring your palms together at chest level and rub them gently against each other. Press the palms of your hands into your closed eyes. Slowly open your eyes into the palms of your hands and lower your hands. Welcome again to Satsang. We'll start as always with a question that's come in advance, and then I'm happy to take any questions that anyone here may have. What is the easiest way to become free of resentment? What is the easiest way to be free of resentment? If, God forbid, if you went to a doctor's office and the doctor says to you, you have a tumor, and if you don't take it out, this tumor is going to kill you. It's going to keep growing and it will kill you. And it will be a painful death. Not like a happy, healthy life and then just one day you die. But it will be a very painful death. The pain will increase every day. So you say to the doctor, okay, well, so what's the solution? The doctor says, well, I can do a surgery. It's a pretty easy surgery, actually. No risk at all. Promise you won't die on the operating table. No chance of any side effects. But you're never going to be able to have this tumor again. I'm going to have to throw away the tumor. You say to the doctor, that's the only downside? No chance of death, no side effects, no risks. The only downside is that I never see this tumor again, which is killing me anyway. And the doctor says, right, are you ready? So just imagine that scenario. Is there anyone here who would not tell the doctor to remove that tumor? Would anyone say, nah, forget it, leave it in? Of course not. We understand. Get the thing out, it's going to kill me. So our resentment, our grudges, are the tumors that are inside of us. That's what sits inside of us, growing and kills us. And it's a painful death. We can't sleep. We don't eat well. Along with the tumor, we develop ulcers. We develop stress. We need pills to go to sleep at night. And that resentment just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. Because the more I think about it, the more the tumor grows. May begin with a little bit of resentment, but the more I think, oh, how dare she? How dare he do that? That was wrong. That was mean. I was so nice. I did everything for them. How dare they hurt me like that? Every time I have that thought, it's food for the tumor of the resentment inside me. And so it grows and it grows and it grows. The way to be free of resentment is to realize it is a tumor inside of you and it's killing you. The only problem is there's no doctor's office you can go to get it surgically removed. That's the bad news. Bad news is there's no doctor you can pay any amount of money to who can put you on an operating table and go in and remove it. But the good news is you can do it. That you don't actually even need the doctor. You can actually remove it. No operating table required, no anesthesia required. The only thing you have to be prepared for is you can't carry the resentment anymore. You have to be prepared to let it go. And the minute that you are, you can breathe it out. But you have to make a conscious decision. The thing that keeps most of us from being able to let go of our resentment is there's this sense inside of us that says, I'm right. That guy did a really bad thing. He hurt me, she hurt me. Maybe. People do things that are painful. People abuse us. People betray us. People abandon us. People harm us. People do things that are not right. But that's their karmic package. They are the ones now who are going to have to deal with the repercussions of that. The question for us is, somebody has done something wrong. Someone has abused me. Someone has betrayed me. Someone has lied to me. Someone has cheated me. That's bad enough. why should I give my life over to a tumor that's going to kill me just because that person did something wrong? It's this double-edged sword. First, they hurt me. They abused me, they lied to me, they betrayed me, they cheated me, whatever it may be. So first I got hurt by that person. Now that's over. But now I decide, and by the way, that one I didn't have any control over, because that was what someone else did to me. But now I decide, with full control, with full power, with full consciousness, that I'm going to keep hurting myself. Now, what kind of sense does that make? It's bad enough that someone hurt you the first time. Why in the world would we voluntarily, consciously choose to hurt ourselves again? And so this is why we let go of resentment. This is why we forgive. We don't forgive because what someone did was okay. We forgive because they're already going to suffer the karmic fruits of what they did. Why should I suffer again? They hurt me already. I need to heal from how they hurt me, not keep hurting myself more. But if I don't forgive, if I hold the grudge, if I hold the resentment, if I hold the anger, every day I'm poisoning myself. There's that beautiful saying that holding a grudge against someone, being angry at someone, is like drinking poison but expecting the other guy to die. I'm suffering. I keep drinking it, thinking that somehow it's going to impact you, but it's not. It's only killing me. Imagine, this is a beautiful white or cream-colored couch gadda thing that they've made so nicely for me. Now imagine if I invite someone, not during satsang time, but imagine at another time I invite someone to come and sit here with me, and maybe even I go into the kitchen and I make them a cup of hot tea or coffee with my own hands. And I say, come, sit with me. And I give them a cup of hot tea or coffee that I've made. And they take that cup and they spill it on my beautiful cream couch gadda thing. And then imagine they stand up and they walk out. Okay? So what should I do? What should I do? Clean the gadda, yes. Clean the gadda for God's sakes. Tea stains, coffee stains. Clean it quickly. Anybody think I should run after the guy and make him come back here to clean it? Anybody think I should leave the stain here just so that every time they come back they remember what they did? Anybody think I should leave the stain here so that even if they never come back, at least I can show everybody every night, ye dekho? Look what that person did to me. Aap socho, amazing. Maine chai pilaya, wo gira diya, fir chale gaye. Can you imagine if every night I started satsang and said, and by the way, this stain, there was a guy, or there was a gal, and I made them a beautiful cup of tea or coffee, then they spilled it, and then they walked out. Can you believe it? You would think, and you haven't cleaned it, why? Right? It's this show and tell every night, stain on my couch. Because see, as it grows and as it starts to smell, and eventually as we get ants or cockroaches or worse, I'm the one who has to sit here. I'm the one sitting the closest to that stain. I'm the one the ants and the cockroaches are going to crawl all over if they come to be there in the coffee and tea. So who's suffering? I'm suffering. I have to sit here every night. So when we understand the right way to take care of our couches, when we understand the silliness of expecting this person to come back and clean it, or the silliness of just letting it sit here and fester and smell, why do we care so much more about our couches than our hearts? Someone hurts our hearts, they stain our hearts. The very first thing we do should be to clean it. Because you've got to live with it. I mean, I could always get a new couch, but you can't get a new heart. You've only got one. And there's lots of time during the day when I'm not sitting here. But there's not any time that you're not living with your heart. So if someone stains your heart, the very first thing you do should be to clean it. Because you have to live with it. And if it festers and grows and smells, well, that's your heart. So it doesn't mean what the guy did was right. It was obnoxious. Right? I mean, how dare you spill something, especially on purpose? And if you do spill it, be polite, offer to help me clean it. But their rightness or wrongness or politeness or obnoxiousness is not the point. Point is, I have to sit on this couch every night. I want it clean. In the same way, I have to live with my heart. I want it clean. I don't want a stain that somebody else has left on my heart. And that doesn't mean that what they did was okay. Doesn't mean it wasn't wrong. But it simply means I've only got one heart and I have to live with it 24/7. So I want it to be as clean, as joyful, as clear as possible. I'm not prepared to carry around the stain of something obnoxious that someone else did, something painful someone else did. So you let go. And that's how we get rid of resentment. As we realize, do I really want to be carrying this around? And you're here on the banks of Mother Ganga. So the minute you have that awareness of, I don't want this stain anymore. I don't want to carry this grudge, this anger, this pain, this resentment. It's growing, it's killing me, it's smelling. Offer it to Ganga. Go down to the banks of Ganga. Take Ganga water in your hands and offer it. Those of you in our Navaratri spiritual retreat heard me tell the story this afternoon about how I did that. And it works. It really works. Ganga takes it. Offer it to her. Offer your pain. And then allow her beautiful divine flow to flow through you. To flow over where there's pain, where there's a grudge, where there's resentment. Allow her to heal it. Because until I open it up, it can't be healed. So resentment is like building a wall around it. I'm not going to let anybody touch it. I'm not going to let go. I'm going to hold on to this. Main pakad karke baith jaungi. So grace can't touch it because I've contracted around it. The only way for it to heal is to open it up. So we do. And this is a perfect time to do it during the sacred days of Navaratri, of the Mother Goddess. When a child comes in from playing covered in dirt, and the mom says, "Cello, it's bath time." And the mom takes the sponge and washes the dirt off the child. It's what moms do. So in the same way, let Mother Ganga, let the Divine Mother, let that beautiful, beautiful presence of the Mother Goddess, let her scrub you. Let her scrub the stains on your heart, on your mind that you're holding on. Allow her to really wash you in that sacred and divine flow. I'm happy to take any questions that anyone here has. Yes, in the back.
In continuation with what you say, who takes care of our sins, which we are doing every day?
Who takes care of our sins? Well, no one takes care of our sins. It's important to realize, first of all, that in the Indian spiritual tradition, in this teaching of karma, it's not about a sin. It's about ignorance. So we don't believe, "Oh, you're a sinner." We believe, "Oh, you forgot. You forgot that you're divine. You forgot the truth of who you are. And therefore you acted out of ignorance." And in that action out of ignorance, out of anger, out of greed, out of lust, out of fear, out of confusion, you did things that now are going to have what we're going to call bitter karmic fruits, that are going to not feel good when it comes back to you. Those actions that you consider, that we use the word sinful for. I'm the one who's going to have to reap those fruits. If I plant an apple seed in my garden, who has to eat the apples? Tree is growing in my garden. Whatever seeds you plant, seeds of karma, those are going to grow and bear fruit. And that fruit is something that in your life, you're going to have to face. And this is why we emphasize spiritual practice, why we emphasize meditation, why we emphasize study, so that we can move through the world with wisdom and not ignorance, so that we can make decisions, the repercussions of which are not painful and bitter fruits. Mother Ganga, because I know you asked this question right after we were talking about Mother Ganga taking your pain. So when we talk about Mother Ganga taking care of our sins, it's not a get out of jail free card. It's not like game of Monopoly, you pick the right card, okay, get out of jail free. It's not that. It's not you get to keep doing whatever you were doing and then just go to Mother Ganga and she'll free you. That's not it. Mother Ganga is the purifier. This is the nature of Mother Ganga, the goddess. She purifies. When we have been purified by Mother Ganga, who we are is changed, which means that nature of ignorance that was leading me to act out of ignorance, out of fear, out of confusion, out of greed, out of lust, out of anger, that nature in me has been changed. I am a different person who emerges from her waters than who went into her waters. If I allow that transformation to happen, then I've just changed. I've just changed my destiny. This is how she deals with our sins, by transforming us into people who no longer are committing those acts. And, Pujya Swamiji always says, when you really surrender to God, God doesn't open your old files. It's not like a job interview that God says, well, I notice here that 4 years ago you did that. If you really surrender, that God doesn't go backwards. And so if in that bath in Mother Ganga, you have been so transformed, you have allowed not just the dirt on your skin to be washed away, but you've allowed the ignorance of the mind, the darkness of that ignorance of the mind, to be cleaned. Then when you emerge from Ganga, you are different. And if you allow that to happen, then the grace is such that, your karma is still your karma. It's not that the past has been obliterated. But what it means is that the power of grace is the power of grace. And with the power of grace, everything is possible. And so, yes, we still have our karmic package, but things are mitigated, things are changed in some way. So for example, maybe there was an accident written in your karma. But maybe that would have been a fatal car accident. Now instead, you stub your toe on the end of a table and you limp for 30 seconds. So that accident is still there because the karma had to fulfill itself. But that karmic package now bathed in the grace of your complete transformation. So the way that fruit of the karma is going to blossom gets transformed. So that's how Ganga takes care of our sins. Not by saying, oh, don't worry about it, just, go out and keep doing it every week and then come back and have another bath and I got you covered. It's not that. It's come and bathe and allow your mind, allow your ignorance, allow your attachments, your identity, all of that to bathe as well. And when you do that, then you actually bathe in the truth of who you are. Then it's not just Ganga mein dubki laga rahe. Then it's swayam mein dubki laga rahe. You're bathing in the self, in your own self. And when you have that experience of truth and that inner transformation, then who you are and how you act changes, which means that your whole destiny is being written differently now. But you have to let the transformation happen. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
What do we do if the person who's spilling the coffee on the couch or the source of my anger is my immediate relationship, a parent or a spouse
Yes.
that I can't, probably distance myself from, and even if I'm healing, the wound gets healed again
Yeah.
and again. Is it a weakness of my practice, or do I need to be there and evolve more, or do I need to
Okay. So this is very common. The one who causes the most pain to us are the ones who are closest to us. This is natural. It's very, very rare that a guy on the street is going to actually cause a pain that is so deep that you can't sleep at night. We tend to usually, even if someone is rude, mean, obnoxious, hoots, yells, does something, inappropriate, we may be offended in the moment, but chances are we're just going to understand, oh, maybe the guy's crazy, maybe they're just a wrong person, but we're going to move on our way. The people whose stains on our hearts really hurt us are always the people close to us. They're the only ones who actually have the power, usually, to really get in us. Now, when you say, is it a weakness of mine? It isn't. First of all, it's important not to think of this as a weakness so much as just to understand it's human nature. It's part of the package deal of being human. But that doesn't mean that we don't have an option. Doesn't mean that we don't have tools or ways. This is what our spiritual practices give us. And when you can't distance yourself, it's someone you live with. What you have to do is you have to ask yourself, if I can't change the outer situation, can I change the inner situation? So if I can't get that person to stop what they're doing, can I get my own reaction to what they're doing to change? Can I change my own inner reaction? Because we all have only one choice, really, in situations like that. To be right or to be in peace. On an objective level, you may be right, the other person may be wrong. But that doesn't actually serve you. Because nobody wants to be told they're wrong. I have yet to see a fight between people in which, in the midst of a heated fight, one of them actually says, okay, you are right, and actually means it. People say to La Chalo Tika, you are right, I give up. But that's very different. That doesn't actually mean you are right. It just means, ki, I'm tired of fighting, enough, forget it. But I have yet to actually see someone in that heat of the fight say anything like, wow, thanks. Didn't realize how wrong I was. Didn't realize what illusion I was living in. Thank you so much for pointing it out to me. Nobody says that. Everybody is convinced they are right. Which is why being right is of very little use in our personal relationships. What's much more important is being in peace. And so, if you can't change how someone is being, can you change your reaction to it? When I was young, I used to study martial arts. And in certain forms of martial arts, there are techniques in which it's not about, I'm going to be stronger than you are. I'm going to beat you and protect myself by being so strong that I'm going to fight you and, hurt you and kill you. But rather, there's actually techniques in which you use the other person's strength against them. And ways in which of literally simply moving out of the way in a way that isn't running away by any means, but that protects you and you don't get hurt and that other person's strength gets used against them. And this isn't just for physical protection in martial arts. This is actually a very beautiful way of dealing with certain people in our lives. When we are strong and stubborn and I know what's right and this is the way and that person is wrong, then you end up like this. Then it's who's stronger, they win. Might makes right. But if you recognize this isn't going anywhere, I choose peace instead of being right, you can actually completely remove your energy from that situation in such a way that the other person can't hurt you. That there's no longer a fight because you no longer are giving any energy into that situation. And most people aren't going to fight themselves for very long. People want to fight. They want someone to fight with. And if you don't fight, if you don't give any reaction, energetically even, and that doesn't mean walk out quietly and slam the door, but there's no energetic reaction at all, the energy dissipates. If you and I are holding opposite ends of a rope and we're both pulling on opposite ends of the rope, and I let go, I just let go of my end, what happens to the rope? Yeah, it flops. Is there any tension in the rope left at all? Now, it's interesting because you haven't let go. Only I've let go. But one person letting go of the rope removes 100% of the tension in the rope. You don't actually need both people to let go. You just need one to let go. And the same thing is true in these sorts of situations. If you absolutely just let go of your end of the rope energetically, there is no more tension. And that doesn't mean, by the way, that every situation is bearable and manageable. First of all, if you're being actually hurt, if someone is actually physically harming you, that's a situation you need to get out of. That's not a situation that we learn to bear and live with. But if what we're dealing with is just people's own psychology and people's own way of dealing, it's a beautiful spiritual practice to just see if you can let go of the tension of your end of the rope. Find peace even in the midst of the other person's craziness. It creates sort of a plastic cover over this. You know, it's like when kids are learning to be, when they're learning to, I forget what it's called. Well, it's toilet trained, but when kids pee in their beds in the night, and then you train them slowly to wake up in the night and actually go to the bathroom. So there's a period of time in which you cover their mattress with plastic because you know they're not going to wake up every time. I've removed their diapers. I'm training them to wake up in the night and go pee. But you cover it with plastic because you know they're gonna miss sometimes. And you don't want to ruin the mattresses. So in the same way, when you know that someone in the home is like that, metaphorically, you cover your heart through these practices. When you know, this person's about to dump tea or coffee on me, you remove your energy from that situation. And you work within to be an energetic manufacturer, transmitter of love and peace. It may impact the other person, it may not impact the other person, but at least you've created an environment for you to live in of love and peace. And it serves as that sort of plastic covering over the mattress. They can throw whatever they want, but you are still anchored and grounded.
One question, please.
Yeah, last question.
No, this is what you say that now I feel that I am a selfish person.
Okay,
It's totally in different angle I'm seeing it.
okay,
I am saving myself to be fenced with all these things that I know how to deal.
Ah, so is this selfish? Good. Okay.
How can I treat that person for that person who is so close to me and
Mhm.
he or she is suffering with that anger, anguish?
Absolutely.
How can I help?
Well, great question. So, is it selfish to protect yourself when that person, especially the loved one, is clearly suffering? That's why they're hurting you. That's why they're acting out of anger. Clearly they're suffering. Your responding to them in anger is never going to help them. But you finding love and peace within you is actually going to help them. When I let go of my end of the rope, I benefit her. It's not selfish at all. She has now benefited because there's no more stress in the rope. So whatever tension she was having and holding on to that rope, by me letting go of it, it's actually benefited her just as much as it's benefited me. So by engaging with someone, it doesn't help them and it doesn't help me. But by me letting go emotionally from that situation, me anchoring in love and peace, it actually creates a situation where they are left now with their anger, with their suffering, and nothing to do with it. And it's not a comfortable situation, absolutely, and they will try. They will try to engage you because it's a lot easier to fight with someone else than to admit that I'm suffering inside. But by refusing to engage with them on that level, by staying anchored and grounded, by staying calm and clear, you actually are creating a situation in which they have to address their own suffering. And then you can be there to help them. But if they fall and they pull you down with them, you're not going to be of any use to them. The only way for you to be of use to them is if you can take care. It's like on airplanes, right? They always say, in case we lose cabin pressure, first put on your own mask and then help those around you. Well, you could say the same thing. Isn't that selfish? Like, why would I take care of myself first? There's all these other people, old people, young people. I should take care of them first. And it's a beautiful intention. But the truth is, without any oxygen, I'm not going to live very long to be of very much help to very many people. If I actually take the moment to get my own mask on first, I can help many, many more people. And so if I disconnect myself from the emotional engagement of that anger, of that conflict, and reground myself in peace, in love, in truth, only then am I going to be able to be of any help to that other person. But lastly, it's also really important to realize that just because we can see that someone else needs our help, doesn't mean they're going to want to take it. And that's another really important thing to realize, is sometimes you can see so clearly, this person is suffering. That's why they keep spilling their coffee on my couch. No reason, no purpose. Even I've stopped making them coffee. Now they go to the market, they buy coffee, they come, they spill it on my couch. You can see clearly something is awry. There is no reason for them to be doing this. Clearly they are suffering. Clearly they are having a problem. But do not think that just because it's so obvious to you, that it's obvious to them. And also do not think that just because you tell them what you can see, that they're going to take it. And that becomes yet another opportunity for us to reground ourselves, to re-anchor ourselves. Because you do want to help them. You want to help them for themselves, and you also want to help them for you, and that's not selfish. Wanting to have a peaceful home environment is not selfish. Wanting to be able to get along and live in harmony with people around us, not selfish by any means. It's what's good for them, it's what's good for us. The best help that you can be for them is to not be a receptacle of what they want to throw. And to not give them the easy way of avoiding their own inner pain by getting into a fight with you. It's the best way you can help yourself, and it's the best way you can help them. And then, beyond that, if they are willing, if you can sit them down and say, honey, sweetheart, beta, whatever you call them, depending on whatever the relationship may be, Bobby, whatever it is, I can see that you are suffering. Is there some way that I can help? By all means, say it. But don't be surprised if the answer that you get is, you are the reason. Right? Pujya Swamiji always tells the joke about people saying to each other, what happened to you? Well, you happened to me. Don't be surprised if that's the answer you get. Everybody has a personal karmic package, and they're gonna come to their own awarenesses, their own realizations when the time is right for them. Keep being there. Keep offering. And if they do say, yes, thank you so much, I am suffering, here's how I'm suffering, thank you for being there, then you've won the lottery. You've won the family lottery. But it doesn't happen in every case. But you keep trying. But never, ever, ever think that taking care of your heart is selfish. Never think that by being a doormat or a trash can or a garbage disposal for somebody else's drama, that you're somehow helping them in some way. You're not. The best help you can give them is to be clear and grounded yourself so that you actually can be a transmitter of love, actually can be a transmitter of peace. If you're a garbage disposal or a trash can for someone else's drama, you're not going to be able to be in peace. And if you're not in peace, you're not going to be able to share peace with others. And your ability to share peace is much more beneficial to someone than being there, ever willing garbage disposal, ever willing trash can. Taking care of your heart, of your energy field, is our duty. This life is precious. It's been given to us as our opportunity for awakening, for enlightenment, for truth and divine connection. And if I spend my entire life biting my tongue, digging my fingernails into my palms until they bleed in order to just barely, the people around me, and then I give myself ulcers and diseases in order to bear them, I'm not actually helping anyone. I'm not achieving anything for myself. I'm not fulfilling what I was put here on earth to fulfill. And I'm not benefiting them. And so this is where on a spiritual level we put on our own mask. And then we help so many. First and foremost, of course, our loved ones to the extent that we can. And lastly, it's important to also know that energetically, you're helping and impacting your loved ones even if they won't necessarily listen to what you say. Simply by being anchored and grounded, simply by being an embodiment of truth and love and peace, that energy is going out. Whether they are accepting it, acknowledging it, conscious of it or not, don't worry. It's benefiting. It's benefiting your family. I remember when I first came to India, first moved into the ashram, just very quickly before we close, first moved here. My parents were very worried. My mother was completely panicked, prepared to show up with the police and the cult deprogrammers and everybody to get me out of the clutches of she didn't even know what. And she calls a friend of hers in India and says, I'm going to need your help rescuing my daughter. She's been kidnapped. She's been brainwashed. I mean, she had no idea. They had never been here. They didn't know Pujya Swamiji. They didn't know anything. They just knew that one week I was calling them from the Red Fort, very happy that I had found a decent cup of coffee in Delhi. And the next week I was incoherent in bliss about God and Ganga. And so, in any case, she calls her friend and says, I'm going to need your help. Something's happened. We have to rescue my daughter. And her friend says, well, give me at least the name of the ashram, the name of the Swami. I'm going to need to, get these details. The police aren't going to just come with me if I don't give them any kind of information. So she says, well, the ashram is called Parmarth Niketan, and I don't know Swamiji's name. She just calls him Pujya Swamiji. And so her friend said, okay, let me find out. He was based in Pune, days before Google. So he says, give me a few hours. So a few hours later, he calls my mother back, and he says, if that Swamiji permits your daughter to stay in his ashram, it will be a blessing, not only for her, but for your entire family, for lifetimes to come. And I share that because a lot of times our instinct is to take what we know and to make sure that we tell everybody and get everybody right and convince everyone, teach everyone. And yet, simply living it, simply being there, is enough to bring those blessings to your family. If they also want to listen to what you have to say, double bonus. But even if they don't worry. You being grounded and connected, you finding this, is a blessing to them. They don't have to know it. You know it. God knows it. The universe knows it. And slowly, 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 they will know it. Like my parents do. Wonderful. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your evening. I know we didn't get to every hand that was raised, but we always have tomorrow. So we'll take the rest tomorrow. Have a beautiful night.